What's going on, guys? Today I'm just going to do a quick little repair video to show you how to fix up your Turtle Beach headphones. Now, this is a pretty common fault. It's a common fault with pretty much every type of headphone you can get, unless you go out and spend thousands of dollars. Like, it even happens with the Beats and stuff like that, even though Beats aren't even that good. What happens is, if you're getting no sound or your sound cuts in and out or anything like that, generally it's caused by either the connection between here going to the Xbox or whatever, or the connection between the amp, or I guess you can say it's an amp, between the amp and the headphones. Now, I just picked these ones up on eBay. I think they were like 99 cents. They were faulty, didn't say what was wrong with them. And just from a quick little inspection, I plugged them in, plugged into my phone, and no sound, so I wiggled around this cord here, and what do you know, it started working. And as I said, it's a really common fault. Like, it's even happened to my expensive aerials as well, and I'm actually using the cable off them right now to record this video, using the microphone off them. And the repair is pretty simple. I'll just do a quick rundown of it. What we'll do is we'll just open up this little amplifier box here under the 4 screws. Basically snip off this wire here. You want to probably cut it back about this far, and then we're going to resolder that onto the PCB in here, or onto the connector, or whatever it uses. You can, if you're really desperate, you can bend this back and wrap tape around it and everything, but eventually it'll stop working and it just looks ugly. So yeah, I'll just move the camera a bit and we'll get started. Okay, so I've taken out all the 4 screws on the back, and to take it apart, all you have to do is there's some little snap clips around the edges, and the easiest way to do that is just get your fingernail and run along the edge, and then that'll come off like that. And here we have the little amplifier board. To be honest, it's a lot better looking than what I was expecting. It's even got solid state capacitors and everything, and a little crystal here and everything like that. So next up, what we want to do, I know my hand's in the way, but we're going to want to take the board out, and looks like it should just pop right out. Okay, so I'm back again. Managed to get it out. I couldn't see it just because the angle I was on was a bit dark. There are these little tab clips here and here, which clip the board down. Actually pretty common for this sort of stuff. I just completely forgot. I'm having a total mind blank at the moment. And which is good is our connector, the faulty end here, it isn't actually on a plug, which is actually a good thing. It means that fixing will be a lot easier. Bring this a bit closer. As you can see here, we've got all the wires going to it. We've got some for the microphone and for the headphones. And what usually happens is, it's pretty common with this type of wire, is it gets a lot of movement here, gets pinched against there, and eventually it will break inside. So that's why if I bend it across, I'll get sound through again. And what I'm going to do, I suggest you do this as well, is write down where each color goes, just to make it easier, and I'll be back in a sec. Or take a photo of it, whatever's easier. Alright, back in a sec. So I've just switched my soldering iron on, and I've also just written down the wiring, which wire goes where. And basically your blue wire is your left channel for the headphones, red wire is the right channel, which is generally how it's wired up, and then the thin gold wire from the cord here goes to the ground for the headphones. Now the ground for the headphones and the microphone should be separate to reduce feedback and everything, which looks like the way they've done it here. And the thicker ground wire and the shielded white wire here go to the microphone, and they've actually separated them anyway inside the sheathing here. As you can see, they got the 2 there. I don't know if you can see that in focus. Yeah, there you go. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some flux. You can either use liquid flux or whatever. If you don't have any flux, just put a bit of solder on the end of your soldering iron. And should have changed the tip for this. I got the wrong size tip on, but it should still work. I've just got the standard tip that comes with it. I'm just going to clean up that tip there, make it nice and clean. And I'm just going to go here. 1 off, 2 off, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Now our board's stripped off. Now what we're going to need to do here is we're just going to need to grab our scissors, blade, whatever, and go back about 5 mils from the end of here, but the break is more than likely within this 5 mil range here. And we're just going to cut straight through it. Now if you want to keep this little nubby bit, a lot of the time you can just pull it out, pull the old wire out with the pliers. Whoops, I killed myself there. But if that doesn't work, you're going to have to drill it out. So you pull out the internal wiring there, and I think you can't really tell now, but I've mangled it all up, but you can sort of see on the wires in there where it's actually full frayed and gone off like that. Okay, so back again, and what I did was I just used a little drill bit and drilled out the inside of this little nub here so I can slide it back up and down. Now what I'm going to do is cut back about, let's say about 1 inch or so off the outer plastic on this thing here. Not too much that it sticks out too far, because we still want to make it look, still want it to be like new. And I'm just going to grab a little black wire off there. Now it's pretty straightforward. You just grab all your little wires in here, and I'm just going to solder them back in the same way they came out, and this should fix the problem for us. Now this wire is pretty hard to solder, so I suggest putting a little bit of gel flux on each one of the wires here. You see that? So just spread them all out. This white wire, don't really worry too much about stripping that, because the heat from your soldering iron will strip that wire back for you. So I'm going to solder these in place, and I'll be back in a little bit. And there you have it. I've soldered this board in. And it's not as pretty as I wanted, but it should work fine. And now we just have to put it all back together and slide this piece up, and it should be fine. Just before I go, what I recommend doing when you go to put it back together, because we did drill out this connector here, it's going to move around in there, so just put a bit of hot glue on the connector, on this end too, just to hold things together, and it should be right. So pop back together and it should work fine. But if you're having other problems with it, if you're getting like no power or anything, just do the same thing, just check all these wires here, and hopefully you should find the problem to it. But other than that, if you thought this video was helpful, just give a good old thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!